EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The winner here goes to the Super Bowl, and we'll know soon enough which team that'll be as we are underway in the AFC title game. And that's not going to be returned, as so many kicking teams elect to do. This is past the landing zone, and we'll start at the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy this caliber who runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
So from the 37, here's 2nd and 3. Operating from the gun, Russo. Short throw caught by Pitts. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
Here's 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Russo. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. And certainly, look, you're on the road in the playoffs. That is a suboptimal start, opening drive INT.
And, partner, sometimes I wonder, do these teams talk about it to such an extent that maybe you almost talk yourself into the turnover when you're trying to avoid it?
Yeah, maybe they get a little too worried about keeping the football, and then you give it to the other team right off the bat. And, look, we said it, on the road, this is just a terrible, terrible start for them.
It is, and now they've got to rely on their defense.
Stroud looking to change the play. On the ground, this is Devon Achane. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Achane here. They stay on the ground.
And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Stroud.
Flushed out right. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
Fairbairn able to put this one through. And that'll make it 3-0 here in the first.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Their second drive here, the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little, but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here.
And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
This 2nd and 4.
Looking to throw. Russo
Setting up the screen. This is Gibbs.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
Short throw caught by Pitts.
And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Out of the gun, they'll give to Gibbs.
And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. Three 0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Our home team 3, visitors 0.
Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Williams, a man in motion right. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Then their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Now a 2nd and 10. From the gun, Gibbs will get it. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Butker's kick here is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick.
He's got it at the 15. And he'll be touched down to the end, but a big play on that one.
And what great recognition between a receiver and his quarterback, because he's going to recognize the trouble, and then he has 2 options. Cut off the route and come back to help, or head straight down the field, and he chooses the latter, and it turns into a huge play.
A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. In motion goes the tight end. Now Achane on 1st and 10. And the nimble footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
From the 9, 2nd and 5. Again, it's Achane. Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Here is 3rd and 5. This to Laporta, right side.
And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
Sam Laporta
From 8 yards out. And his guys have taken the lead.
So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the lead is now 10-3.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Back to throw. Russo.
Short throw caught by Pitts.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
AFC title game, 2nd quarter action, 2 minutes to play. Third and 5.
Looking to throw. Russo. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt.
And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose. A little too amped up there. Got to him before he had a chance to catch it.
Another example of players in tough spots getting the protection that they deserve. Got to make sure that he's able to catch the ball before you get to him.
So 1st and 10 after a big mistake on 4th down with a penalty.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. They set up the screen. Achane has it.
And he's got this down to the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a 1st down.
And that's not a play that you see all that often at the start of a drive, but some teams, they don't mind doing it. And that one, well sold by the offensive lineman. They showed the pass, and then they got out into space, able to get some good blocks downfield and allow the play to be successful.
Throwing now is Stroud.
He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
And they'll send the tight end in motion.
Now Stroud.
And he comes back with one complete. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Stroud will look to throw once more. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted.
And now nothing but green ahead of him. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Here's another 1st and goal, but from a little further back this time following the penalty.
Out of the gun, here's a give to Achane.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Devon Achane.
A 5-yard touchdown run. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
Partner, to me, that touchdown had something that was kind of rooted in that group seeing the future. What I mean by that is they had a plan. Let's find a way to score right here before the half, and that'll give us momentum going into the second half. Give us that cushion that we're looking for. They got that accomplished, scoring right before the half ended.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead is now 17-3.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores.
And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
2nd and 10.
Operating from the gun.
Russo, short throw, caught by Pitts.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
Behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 15. As Stroud now to throw.
That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield or man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that. Saw there.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
A shotgun snap to Stroud. Pass to the sideline and pulled in.
Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
But things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick it down, any down, even third down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
Stroud to throw it. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it, so on comes the field goal unit. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt, and that will extend their lead even further. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
And we will not have a run back here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. 1 second, all that remains. A final shot before break. Russo. This ball down the field for Pitts. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Harrison Butker set to kick off. One more half to decide who takes home the Lamar Hunt Trophy as we're back underway in this AFC Championship. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And I think here with the lead, CD, they have to resist that temptation to kind of looking ahead. Would you agree?
Absolutely, I would agree, because they know the stakes. They know the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl. And this one, it's far from over. They were the better team in the first half, but they do know that they're facing their toughest opponent of the year. And they've got to be prepared for them to fight it out all the way and add a few extra wrinkles in the second half as well. They need to stay on guard.
Right back to Achane on second down. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
3rd and 3. Here's Stroud. They'll let this go deep for Waddle. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 63 yards. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. On this stage, conference championship game, every play is magnified, and that was a big play.
No doubt about it. One thing that has these guys a step away from a shot at a big game, their big play ability. They can strike from anywhere.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Throwing to start the drive. Russo. Looking there for Pitts, but intercepted. And the return will stop right around the 25. This defense, Charles, coming up with another interception. They have really done an excellent job of locking up these receivers.
Yeah, they're really on fire. They are actually doing what they talk about all the time, which is plastering to receivers when they're in their zones. They didn't give up a touchdown in the first half. Haven't done so here in this half either. Blanketed the field going all the way back to the opening drive, and they come up with a pick right there.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
From the 22 now, here's 2nd and 6. Here's a toss left for Achane. Only a yard of the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Oh, design run for their wideout. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
Not your conventional play call, but that's okay. You probe the defense a little bit with some of everything in your playbook. That way they have to account for everything as the game moves on.
Now Kaimi Fairbairn for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they got the turnover started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. That defense able to hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. The goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. That's complete to Ward. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Tally that is catch number 1 for him in this AFC Championship. It's a first down.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good game and a first down.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. Second down. One quarter remains until we crown the AFC champion. Second and 6. Back to throw. Russo. Short throw caught by Pitts. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Gibbs straight ahead. And he'll take this down to the 33.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 6. Another run for Gibbs here. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. 44 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And they're knocking on the door now as a good run there going to take this to about the 10-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. He finds his way into the secondary again on this drive. They might want to try getting him down a little closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, what do they call that? Third level run, first level being the D-line, and linebacker second level in the secondary, the third. When you block it up well and you make the secondary do all the tackling, that will wear on a defense.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got it 2nd and goal as they look for a late touchdown. And they take a knee. And they will take a knee here. The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. And they'll indeed take a knee. And they take a knee. And with this win and an AFC championship, they have reached the most hallowed ground in all of sports.
That means they are the best in their conference. What an incredible feeling for this team to go through the entire season and come out on top and now go to the Super Bowl for the right to be called world champion.
And that does it for the conference championship. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And for our entire crew, we'll see you 2 weeks at the Super Bowl. This is the NFL on EA Sports.